Two red, two white. We alright. And here's the difference between a VASI and a PAPI. A PAPI? Nah, your woman called it PAPI. Hey, one time. There go. Hey, as you've landed your aircraft many times, whether at your home airport or many other airports that you've traveled to, you've probably noticed a set of lights located near the runway. And it's usually either a VASI or a PAPI. But understanding the distinct differences and characteristics between those two can help you land your aircraft even more precise on the runway. And understanding how to effectively use them in conjunction with your other tools and reference points that you're using can also help you land the aircraft better. So let's run that thing. There's usually two sets of lights that you're going to have to be concerning yourself with, the two primary ones, and that's either a VASI or a PAPI. Let's start with a VASI. What exactly does VASI stand for? VASI. VASI is simply just the visual approach slope indicator. All this is going to give you a guide to make sure that you're on the right glide path and for the runway that you're landing on, making sure everything is right, making sure you're not too high, making sure you're not too low, making sure you're right in the slot. Visual approach slope indicator. So it's giving you that visual aid of are you on the right path. One of the key characteristics that distinguishes a VASI from a PAPI is its positioning. If you look at the VASI, it's sets of lights groupings that are stacked on top of each other, like two on top of another set of two, two on top of another set of two, two on top of another set of two, more in like a vertical kind of formation, where VASI starts with a V. And even though that V means visual approach slope indicator, just the mere fact that it starts with a V, you can use that as a nice reference points to know whether or not you're dealing with a VASI or a PAPI. Hey, do I see a group of lightings stacked vertically? That is a VASI. Versus if they're stacked more horizontally, that is a PAPI or PAPI. Hey, boom! The second distinct characteristics between a VASI and a PAPI is the number of indications that it can give you. A VASI is really going to give you three basic indications. It's either going to give you two red, two white. We alright. Hey, that means you're right in the slot. Or it's going to give you all white, which means, of course, you're too high. And then, of course, it may give you all red, which means you're too low. And you can use little rhyme schemes to kind of remember these. Two red, two white. We alright. All white. We gonna fly all night. We high and we gonna fly all night. All white. We gonna fly all night. All red. We gonna be dead. We way too low. So using this can kind of help you along the way in adjusting your glide path as you're coming in for landing to making sure you're up and down. The very key here is you want to use this as confirmation to your number one reference, which should always be the sight picture. So never lose a moment of the sight picture. Never lose sight of the sight picture. Boom! You're just using the VASI or the PAPI to confirm the sight picture of what you're seeing and making small corrections. Always make small corrections in the aircraft. You never want to go just chasing anything in the aircraft. The same way that you don't go just chasing a heading or you don't go chasing a certain altitude, you make small corrections to get you there and you anticipate. You want to do the same thing when, of course, using the VASI or the PAPI. You never want to just chase anything. For example, if you were coming in and you were really high, okay, all white, we gonna fly all night. Make small corrections. You know various things you can do in the aircraft to adjust that height. You can pull some of that power out, all those kinds of things. Everything that you need to do to gradually bring the aircraft down and get it where it's too red, too white, and you are all right. You know what I mean? What you don't want to do is you don't want to immediately, oh, I'm too high, let me just nosedive. And now you're just chasing a VASI or you're chasing a PAPI. You never want to chase anything in the aircraft. Small corrections, sight picture, your number one reference. Just use these lighting references as a way to confirm the sight picture that's in your head. These can particularly come and be very important to you, particularly at night when the sight picture may be a little bit limited. Now you're really using that VASI or using that PAPI. So understand how to use them, how they work, and that can help you in the long run. Land that thing nice and soft. Hey, boom! And speaking of how they work, you know the unique thing about a VASI or a PAPI is how it's actually determining and giving you that readout, whether it's a red or white light. There isn't some radar that's just shooting up in the air that's changing light and flickering all over the place. It actually doesn't change at all. What happens is, based on the angle that you're looking at and the angle that you are in an aircraft, you're going to see it either be a white color or a red color. The light itself doesn't change. It's just the angle that you're seeing it on the ground. Like if you're too high, you're going to see it white. If you're too low, you're going to see it red. So it's based on the angle that you are on the aircraft. If you ever had an opportunity to take an airport tour or to see these in person, take a look at them. It's very cool to look at, where you see that the light itself doesn't necessarily change. It's just the angle based on what you're seeing is going to determine what color you're going to see. Oh, if you get real close to it, if I'm up here, look high in that lens, it's white. If I look down low, it's red. That's how it's determining everything. Another cool thing about aviation. Hey, boom! So let's get into that PAPI or PAPI. That's what she said. Let go! Hey, they're one of the distinct characteristics, as we very well know. Unlike the VASI, V and VASI for vertical, they're stacked on top of each other. Your PAPI is going to be horizontal. All your lights are going to be distributed horizontally instead of vertically stacked on top of each other. That's one of the characteristics how you can determine which one do you have and which one are you dealing with. Are you dealing with a VASI or are you dealing with a PAPI? Secondarily, let's talk about what PAPI even stands for. Precision Approach Path Indicator. So focus in on that first word, precision. It's a little bit more precise in its reading than the visual approach slope indicator. But even though it's more precise and give you a more precise reading on that, whether or not you're on that glide path, you still should be using this as a nice confirmation to your sight picture. So don't just rely on the PAPI. Also, always focus on, of course, the sight picture. Just as if you're performing any other maneuver in the aircraft. Think about this. Your landing is no different than performing any other type of maneuver. Let's say if you were focusing in on a steep turn. You're looking outside the aircraft on the horizon, and you're bringing that nose through that horizon, cutting right through, and you're glancing down at those instruments, making sure you're maintaining that altitude, looking at, of course, what degree of bank that you're on, back outside, back in those instruments, back outside. You're using both. Same thing here, baby, when you get ready to land that thing. Hey, you're using both. Sight picture and then confirming with the PAPI. You never go chasing a PAPI or a VASI or a PAPI or any of this stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Let go. Hey, boom! And let's talk about the second distinct characteristics of a PAPI. It's going to give you 5 different indicators. So you only got 3 indicators with a VASI, but now you get 5 with a PAPI. That's part of it being a little bit more of a precise. That's part of that precision that it's giving you. Because it can tell you not just whether you're too high or too low. It can kind of tell you if you're slightly high or slightly low. Simple with that. Too white, too red. Of course, you know you're right in the slot. With these happy faces, that's exactly where you want to be. Whether you're in a VASI or whether you wear the PAPI. Too white, too red, you all good. You also can be all white. We know that that's too high. That's one of the readings that you can be. You can also be here. Hey, look, you got 3 white and a red. What does that mean? That means you're slightly high. So here, all white, you're too high. You got to bring that thing down. 3 white and a red, you're slightly high. Bring that thing down. Nice and smooth like. Or, of course, you can have 1 white and then a bunch of red. What does that mean? You're low. Of course, and then all red, hey, we gonna be dead. Bring that thing back up. So make sure you're always looking at it from that perspective and thinking to yourself, okay, it can give me a little bit more of a precise reading, but I'm also going to always be looking outside the aircraft while I'm making those small adjustments. Let go, boom! So with that PAPI, you get 2 more precise readings. You get a slightly high or slightly low versus just an all-out high and an all-out low like you do in your VASI. So those are some more of the distinct characteristics between a PAPI and a VASI, how they work, and how you can use them to your advantage. Let go! Don't forget to like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. I am Donovan Batiste, and this is Leadership Mindset, a place where you can come for free and fun videos about everything that you need to know for you to become a pilot or stay proficient. Because I want you to feel what pilots all over the world feel when we swinging and banging that thing. Hey, love you one time.